Welcome to the Bringing Intimacy Back show, where intimacy is real. If you desire to intimately connect with yourself, your significant other, children, family, friends, community, and higher power, this show is for you. We explore intimate topics, inspiring life stories, spirituality, and insightful tips on strengthening relationships. The show is hosted by Dr. April and her co-host, Coach K. Let's get this episode of the Bringing Intimacy Back show started. We share with you today the secret power to intimacy to create a life you love or love the life you create. Now, here's your host, Dr. April, and co-host Coach K.
Welcome to the Bringing Intimacy Back show, where intimacy is real. How are you doing, Coach K?
I'm doing amazing today. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, but you know what I'm getting so frustrated with lately?
Come on.
It's just gas prices, inflation.
Everything is ridiculous. I found myself not even wanting to buy eggs because I'm like, I know I just paid $2 for that carton like 3 weeks ago. I don't want to pay $5 for it.
Yeah, I just went to Subway and I think I spent like $11 for a salad for a little tiny thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do people make it?
Yeah, it's budgets are becoming real. Everything that you learned in school that you said, I never used that, it's coming full circle.
Yeah. And then it's tough. And when you live by yourself or when you're with your husband, I mean, it just causes so much stress.
It does. Finances is up there with, whoo boy, right behind not getting enough.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what, when people are saying, I ask people like, what is the most common reason why people get separated and divorced or whatever? And a lot of people say it's finances, that financial intimacy that just disconnect of XYZ. And it's happening all over.
It is, because most of the time, if you're stressed, you're not thinking about money. You're not thinking about laying down and having fun.
Right. Exactly. It just makes you all tense where you can't even enjoy life. And so I am so happy because guess what we're going to talk about today?
What is it?
We're going to talk about sexy money.
Yeah. And I love that title.
Yes. And people are like, well, how can money be sexy?
I mean, if you lay back and let it get sprawled all over you,
I know for myself, when I have more money, I feel sexier. Yeah, because you can do more things. But also when you're in control of your money.
Yes. That's very, very sexy.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe I'm just a control freak in some aspects.
No, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. So before we get definitely into the heat of the topic, I want to remind everyone that we have a great nonprofit that we're working with for this month called Sisters for Sisters, which is great. And it is a nonprofit that helps women such as us have our own businesses and empower, which is really great, especially even as we talk about finances, is having a mentor, especially in business, about,
Yeah, that is huge, having that support.
Definitely, yes. So if you're thinking about it, check out Sister for Sisters Network. But let's get back into the topic of sexy money. And we have a sexy person coming on.
I can't wait for everybody else to meet us. I already saw her.
Yes. And I was like, wow, yes. And I've been on, I'll talk in a moment about her show, but she has a show. And what she does is she makes money fun.
That's important.
Make money fun, and you're able to talk about it instead of being scared and fearful, which I think many people, that's their relationship with money.
Yep.
Yes. So when we come back, we're going to meet this sexy male to talk about the sexy money And as you're going to hear, Mel has a lot of O because she goes by Mel O, and we're going to see what that O really means. All right then. We'll take a break and we'll be a moment.
Are you wanting a vacation in paradise? A vacation to rekindle the passion. A vacation without the kids. A vacation where you can learn how to communicate, where you and your partner actually hear each other and gain insight. If so, vacation counseling is your next vacation. Dr. April Brown has created vacation counseling in Southwest Florida as a perfect option for you and your partner. Our retreats are one couple at a time. We have a variety of packages available to choose from, including virtual couples retreats. If you and your partner are interested in vacation counseling, please visit us at vacationcounseling.com for more information on pricing and packages. Also, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. To keep track of the latest news, stories, activities, or coupons on vacation counseling and Dr. April's other services, we encourage you to sign up to receive a monthly newsletter called Intimate Connections at draprilbrown.com. Remember, if you and your partner are struggling with communication and intimacy, and you all are looking for a retreat to connect, vacation counseling can be your next vacation in Southwest Florida.
Welcome to Bringing Intimacy Back show, where intimacy is real. I'd like to welcome our guest, Mel O. She is the host of Finances, the Other F Word. Welcome, Mel.
What's up? How you guys doing? Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes. I'm so excited to hear about what you have to talk about because you have so much passion and love.
You guys kept talking about how sexy I was. I'm like, okay, I'm wearing a stupid t-shirt, first of all. So I should have totally upped my game there. Second of all, I have no lip gloss on. So when you're like, what does the O stand for? I'm like, probably, oh shit, I didn't put on lip gloss. And then I had to adjust my bra and like get my girls up there a little higher because I'm like, now I'm in this stupid t-shirt and they're going to be like, oh, who's this sexy chick? And it's going to be like, what's up? I'm in a t-shirt. How you doing?
Yes.
Sorry, listeners and viewers, but you know.
Yes. One of the sexy things about you is those beautiful dimples you have on.
Yeah, I got that a lot when I was little, before I knew what they were. And then everybody's like, yeah, dimples. And I'm like, I'm going to knock you out. Stop touching my face.
Yes. So starting off, this show is called Bringing Intimacy Back. And we'd love to hear, what is your definition of the word intimacy?
Oh, God. I thought we were going to talk about money. That's so much easier than that. For those of you, Dr. April was on our show on April 7th, 2022, episode 374. And you'll understand why this is such a hard topic for me if you go back and listen to when we interviewed her. I don't really know what, I guess intimacy would be when everybody knows exactly everything about you and loves you anyway.
I like
Yeah,
that.
like that shit. I just dropped some heaviness. Bam. It's like that.
That's one of those things you ride back and say, yes.
That's a good meme right there. That's a meme worthy. That's meme worthy.
Yes. So how did you know when finances was Mel's thing?
I probably didn't. I did it because I was raised by my grandparents, and they were obviously old school, and they believed that you got a good job, like at a bank. And so I started working in banking and operations at 18, and I just kind of went from there. And then when I got my investment license back in 2005, then I just was like, oh, okay, so investments is my thing, but not banking, because banking blows. Yeah.
Yes. Good. So in the sense of investing, that's the thing that really makes you feel connected in the sense of what you're going to bring out to the world.
Yeah, I mean, I love investing and I love helping people meet their financial objectives, which is why I'm a certified financial planner as well as a licensed advisor. But more importantly, I don't like my industry. So I like me and I like what I do and I like helping people, but I don't like the old white guys in suits in my industry. And so when I did my own firm, I was like, hey, I'm just not going to do that anymore. And I didn't. And so now that has made it way funner.
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, as Coach K and I were talking, many people today are struggling.
Yeah, and I think that the people are struggling. Well, obviously, inflation is crazy, and you guys had mentioned gas prices. And our next episode on finances of the F word will be on exactly who controls the price of oil, and exactly who is manipulating those things. Because we want to blame the president or administration that's in power, but really, that's not how oil prices work at all. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I think the root of most financial problems is the fact that people have not really given thought to what their financial objectives are. So everybody's like, trying to make rent, or everybody's trying to make the utility bill. And then if they have extra money, they don't have anything identified as, what am I really trying to do here on a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan? And I think in my industry, everybody wants you to focus on retirement, which is important. But like, we all got a real long time to go before retirement, and people are working longer. The job market has changed. You've got gig economies. You can do part-time work. You can work from home. So the whole getting the gold watch at 55 and then you retire till you die, which was only 20 years after that at most, now has completely changed. So retirement is changing too. So everything's kind of in flux right now.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I was thinking you and I and Coach K have in common is that we're in a profession where they don't teach you about it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yours is way funner to learn about than mine. That's the difference.
Yeah.
But they both have very detrimental outcomes when not taught properly.
Amen. Yeah. No, and I don't know why we don't teach about either of those. It seems like it would be very. I remember in my 8th grade health class, Mr. Smith, the closest I ever got to sexual education in school was he told us, make sure you wipe from front to back.
Hey, you know what? That's important because they don't even teach that.
Yes.
And we're all trying not to giggle because, and plus he was a really big dude, so he was kind of intimidating. But
Yes.
yeah, that was about the extent of it. Yeah. So, and I think that's still more than I got on money, besides learning how to write a check because I'm a little older, and learning how to count money, but nothing else past that,
Yeah, I can honestly say I was fortunate enough. I think I may be the last class. I graduated high school in 97. And I distinctly remember in high school having a financial class. And I think it was an elective that I chose. But you don't have that option anymore. Even when we used to have home economics, they didn't just teach you to cook and clean. There were some financial, but that, like you said, was taken completely out of schools totally. I wanted to be an accountant based on being in high school from the finances that I learned. I didn't do it though.
Well, to be fair, accounting sucks. I mean, I took accounting classes in college and I was just like, get me the hell out of these classes. I just want to get past these things. And I did. And I was like, done with that, It's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, actually, as an accountant, yeah, it does. It's boring. No one wants to deal with it. Yes. And that's the same thing that people think about money.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Mel, what are some misconceptions that people have about money?
I think probably one of the major misconceptions about money is when people try to really do a budget, or they try to go, okay, this is a year, I'm gonna get my shit together and I'm gonna get a hold of my money and I'm gonna do it the right way. They don't realize that they lie to themselves constantly. So they self-sabotage themselves. And behavioral finance, those are the two most detrimental thing that takes people out at the knees. When you go to do a budget, if you have allotted $100 for groceries or $100 for dining out or whatever, and then you go to the gas station and you put $30 in your car, and then you go in and buy a soda for $3, well, that's not $33 out of your gas budget, that's $30 out of your gas budget and $3 out of your dining budget. But see, people, they want to, and that's a mild example, but they lie to themselves about where their money's actually going as a way to make them feel better. Oh, I didn't spend that much on dining out. Oh, no, you did not. You just didn't put it in the same category. So it's like the first time you play golf, if you cheat or you don't mark down all your swings, you never know if you're getting better. And then the behavioral finance just sinks so many people because people want to spend the most money when they are the most broke because they just feel like that's going to give them control. So, for instance, COVID with that whole toilet paper bullshit that we saw,
Right.
Yes.
people were buying toilet paper because it's cheap, it never goes bad, and you can buy it in ginormous packages. And so you felt like you were exerting control over something when you literally had absolutely no control over anything. And so that's behavioral finance will sneak in, or, oh, just get that shirt, it's on sale. I know I'm broke, but blah, blah, blah. No, you're really broke. So you should not buy that shirt, you know? So those are the two big misconceptions I think that most people have about money.
I'm guilty.
We
I
are.
do better. I am definitely guilty. And I do a thing called Winning Wednesday. And I went into a store and I looked at this thing 3 times that I did not need. And I walked out with the one thing that I was supposed to get. And that lady, she said, that's on sale and this is on sale. I was like, lady, stop.
Right.
I have to get out of here because my anxiety was starting to kick up.
But you realized it and you didn't do it. I mean, that's the thing. So we all do it. I do the same thing. I mean, it's just there's a reason why the bulk of our economy is built on consumer spending,
Mhm.
and behavioral finance is a huge part of that. So yeah, we all go through it, but you got to recognize it, and I talk about that in the book. So it's just because it'll sabotage you so bad.
Mhm. I think
Yeah.
probably behavior financing also has a lot to do with eyes. Like if you see something, I mean, you had a lot of determination, but if you see something and it's like, ooh, it gets inside you and then you really want it. It's the same thing with sex. It's a visual aspect.
I'm really guilty of that. Mm.
You just jump right in there. I am what the people who make that new aisle at the checkout counter that's full of
Yeah.
just mess. They made that for me because I'm slowly holding up everybody behind me, trying to look at every single thing that I do not need because I was just in the store.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's what you were talking about, that behavioral finances.
Right.
It's work to control yourself.
Right. But in reality, if you hold back and you save and you don't just go forward, do you guys know how wonderful you feel at the end? It's even the same thing in sex. If you just go for it versus, a little teasing and holding back.
Maybe if you save enough money, you can go home and give it all out in sex.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in you guys' bedroom. Seriously. I'm just like, that sounds nice. Should I be twirling right now? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, but you understand that concept, right, Mel? The point of saving, holding.
Yeah. I think that I do. My thing is that everybody should have an emergency fund, which is where you have a savings account. General rule of thumb is that if you're in a household where you're the sole owner, you want to have 6 months of discretionary and non-discretionary spending. If you're in a dual income household, you want to have 3. That's emergency savings. Everybody should save for that. But past that, if you're going to be saving, I go back to financial objectives, which is what CFPs do, is that you need to figure out what you're saving for. Because if you're just depriving yourself from that shirt you want or some sexy sex toy or some sexy lingerie so that you can save money and you already have an emergency fund, well, what are you saving it for? You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's where that becomes important as far as like, okay, let me do something with this now because looking at a lot of money in your account is all fine and good until you die the next day.
Mm-hmm. Right. You need to somehow enjoy it. On the show, we talk a lot about relationships. And I know one question people are wondering to know is, when you meet someone, when do you decide to talk about, and you're getting serious, finances and credit score?
So if you have any, so let's start with credit score first because that's easy. Well, I mean, if you guys are getting serious enough that you think you're going to be buying a house together, obviously the credit score conversation has got to come up. Also, I would caution people, it might be an uncomfortable conversation, but you need to have it before you commit like in a marriage, about debt, because I have clients who one of the significant others is a spender and the other one is a massive saver, and it's a very big issue. And I mean, obviously, I would be on the first date like, oh, I like lasagna too. Hey, by the way, what's your credit score? You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
the thing is that if you're going to move in together, if you're going to get engaged, if you're going to be married, or if you're just not going to be married but be long-term partners, I mean, that stuff needs to come in because you do not want to be messing with somebody who has a whole ton of debt. And a lot of times I've seen that when people do end up having massive amounts of debt, they just whoop, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. And even though you could be like, oh yeah, well that's okay, that's his debt or hers debt, so that don't affect me. Well, it does affect you, especially if you guys decide to be partners and move forward, because every single thing you want to vacation homes, cars, then what happens is the person with one credit has to carry the load of all the cars, and then their credit score is affected. And then it's just this nasty spiraling thing. And if there's child support out there that they haven't paid and y'all
Ooh.
get together and then child support comes back and it gets levied at the bank. So this is what I've seen when I worked at the bank a whole ton of times. And this is just kind of a side note. And I don't know why I'm saying this. Maybe somebody needs to hear this. If you get with somebody and you guys get married, or you're just on an account together and you both own the account, okay, and that other person has not paid their child support, and it goes through the court system and they get a junction against that, they're able to levy the account that the person who owes child support is on, they will come in and take that money, take it. And the way it works at the bank is that the bank gets a notice in the morning saying these accounts have been picked out by the judge, by the court system, and we need this money out of the account. So then you log on, all your money's gone. And then the person who didn't have nothing to do with child support now has to go back to the court system and go, no, 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 no. I was also an owner on that. 50% of that money's mine, and fight to get their money back. So when you're adding yourself onto accounts with people and everything, you need to make sure. And also if the person overdraws the account on you, and I'm just talking about checking accounts. Okay. If they overdraw the account on you, the bank can close it and all the fees are both still liable. And then you can't open another account. And I see this specifically with women. They let this happen all the time to them, and it just fucking pisses me off. Don't do it, ladies, is what I'm telling you. Do not do that shit.
Yeah, but he's so good and he's so cute.
I know, but I
That's so well.
I can masturbate and still have all my money. So woohoo. You know, I mean, that's the one thing I wish I could have told him at the bank. Be like, have you masturbated? You should probably do that before you add this fool onto your account that you had for 15 years. So you could be back in my office in 6 months crying because the motherfucker overdrafted you. And now you can't open a bank account.
Yes.
I'm glad that you spoke on that, especially about that the child support piece, because oddly enough, there are not enough people who really think about that prior to just jumping into things. And I binge watched this show, that Life After Lockup, and the guy had restitution. And the woman who was, he got out of jail, she was like, yeah, we want to get married. And she said, yeah, he has restitution. And so her family was like, well, if you get married, you both have to eventually share that debt, especially if you're going to be on things together. They put a lien on the place. So it's good you say that out loud, because not enough people think about that. The first kiss will make your brain go away.
Mm-hmm. It must be a big kiss.
Good tongue. Yeah. I mean, it just happens. It happens so much, things like that. And another thing that happens a lot of time with couples, since you guys focus on, relationship with couples, is that, a lot of people, they're married, then they divorce and then marry somebody else. and then they don't bother to change the beneficiaries of all their stuff, all their 401ks, and their specifically, y'all listen to me, life insurance. And then what happens is that their second wife of 20 years, they die, the wife goes to get the life insurance, and guess whose name is on his beneficiary? His ex-wife.
Right.
And she does not have to give you shit. According to the contract, she is the 100% beneficiary, and now she has that money and you got nothing. And women were better at it. We're like, oh, let me update my bit. Men, I cannot tell you how many times I have had to get on dudes that have been married twice. I'm like, go change your beneficiary right now. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. No, not I'm gonna do that. Do it. So if you're getting involved with somebody where you're long term, make sure they do that too, because that's a big freaking deal. If you guys are intertwining finances with the understanding that if one of you go, the other person has put things in place to take care of them, then you need to make sure that you get your money. I mean, you really do, because men are just notorious at not doing that, just like women are notorious at just adding dudes onto their account for no reason, in my experience.
Yeah. So Mel, in a relationship, if one person is really good with finances and the other is not, the one that's not, should they just let the other person do the finances and pay the bills? And what are your thoughts?
Yes and no. The problem with that is that then when they turn over the keys, first of all, for me, when you do that, you give up independence, which is a huge thing for me. So that's one thing that I don't like. And I have clients who've been married forever, and one spouse has no clue where the checkbook is. They don't know how to write a check. They don't know how to pay bills, none of that stuff. But the thing is that if there's one person who's better with money, then yes, it would make sense that, maybe one person's good at fixing stuff and the other person's good at money. So they do it. But just because your significant other is good at money, doing the money, doesn't mean that you don't need to know about the money. That's totally different. That's where you're just going like, I have no idea how much money's in the account. It's just, there's a certain amount of responsibility you have to have. And people die all the time, you guys, all the time. Like you would think that, when we think of people dying, we think of elderly people. No, people die all the time. And if the spouse that has the money goes, think if you guys are in a business, right? And if you have one partner who does all the finances and one partner who does all the operation or, sales or whatever, if this person dies, typically there's a buy-sell agreement in place so that this other person can come in, somebody else can come in and do the finances. So why would you just let your spouse, I mean, I get it, you're banging them, but why would you let your spouse, just your significant other, just turn over the keys to everything? And people fight about money, particularly in front of me, a lot because they can't talk about it themselves. So it's like they save it up until I'm in a situation where I'm trying to tell them what to do with their money. And then they start throwing little jabs at each other in front of me. And then I don't know, I'm sure it would be the same thing for you, Dr. April. And now all of a sudden, I'm refereeing this thing and I'm like, okay, look, everybody chill. We're trying to get here. It's a team sport. You might have a quarterback, but it's a team sport.
Yeah, that's how it was in our marriage. And I made my husband for a week. You pay all the bills. I need you to know how to log into the bank account because I have a heart condition. And it's just the reality is one day I could be gone. Right. We've been married 16 years and now he gets it. Like if I can't do something or I'm gone, you have 5 children to think about if I'm not here, a house, a car, and life to go on. So makes sense.
Yeah. So what do you think about the new, I won't say it's a new toy, but the whole crypto? Yes. That wasn't one of the questions, but it just popped up.
Yeah, no, it's fine. The honest answer is honestly, I can't answer it because I'm licensed. So yeah, the thing that this is the one thing that, one of the many things that blows about my industry is that the people who don't have any licenses can run amok and just say crazy shit. And they can just tell you what to buy and tell you what to sell and tell you what to invest in. And if you do it, and then whatever you invest in eats shit, then they walk scot-free. They're just like, okay, well, whatever. But the people like myself who actually do hold the licenses, do hold the certifications, have been doing it forever, we can't say anything about anything because we are liable.
Right.
And so what happens specifically on social media, which is kind of why I created the podcast Finances Are Their F Word, is because I wanted to teach people about money without telling them, hey, go buy XYZ stock. So that they can sit down in front of somebody like me, same reason why I wrote the book, and not get fucked. First of all, that's the big thing. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, so literally, I'm not sidestepping the question. I mean, believe me, if I
Right.
did not have licenses, I would tell you what I thought, but I honestly can't answer the question at all.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
with all this new technology of crypto and even people investing in space on Meta.
The I like that you said you can't even answer the question because you're licensed, because that would make me want to work with someone who's not open to speaking about that out in the open, because I know that they have more of a responsibility behind their business and title. So that said
More.
more than you not even being able to speak on it.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's the trap of social media, is that we spend varying degrees on whatever social media platform is of your choice, and there's always people wanting advice. But I've always said, if I need a plumber, I'm not going to go to social media. I'm going to call a damn plumber because I don't want my house flood. But there's this weird thing, I think, with the medical field, and actually maybe with you guys' field too, like the medical field and the financial field. People think that if they Google the definition of something and they read a paragraph, now they're a fucking expert, and now they're on social media, and now they want to give all this advice, and they're too ignorant to understand that the financial advice you're giving is blanket. The whole point of being a CFP is that you sit with the person and you go, because Dr. April's goals are not your goals, and Coach K's goals are not yours, and that means that you should not be invested the same way. Some people are older, some people are younger, some people have different tax implications, some people have kids, some people have kids with special needs. And so the thing is that we have, and I blame like the kind of the 80s time, we've convinced everybody that all you need to do is make money. And so if I sit down with somebody and I say, hey, what are you trying to do? They're like, I'm trying to make money. And I go, okay, so what are you trying to make money for? Well, because I want to go to Italy. Okay, that's what you're planning for. It's not you
Right.
just want to make money. So if I just did this and you had $5 million, now what?
Right.
You
Exactly.
have no clue what you're gonna do with it, you know? So yeah, so it gets really, it's one of my big sore spots, is the fact that my industry is been slow as crap in regulating the absolutely litigious, detrimental advice that's out there. And it really disheartening for me, because I've seen so many people blow up because of it.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to get on a tangent, but
Oh, no, no, no. That's a wonderful tangent that you're, and it made me even think of another question in the sense of, when should someone get a financial planner? Do you get one at 18 when you just start working, or maybe your first professional job, 23? Or do you wait till you get engaged, or do you wait till you get married, or do you wait till you're about to retire? When should someone get a financial planner? How does that look?
yeah, I think if you have a major, because there's different levels of working with a financial planner. So if you're 18 and your aspiration is to have a vacation home by the time you're 30, that's, probably sitting with the financial planner to at least pick their brain would be smart for you. If you're 18 and you don't really know what you want to do yet, then, do you necessarily need to pay for a financial planner? Probably not, right? But if you're getting ready to have kids, or if you're getting ready to get married, and through the financial planning process, when you sit down with somebody like me, like how I talked about how a lot of times I'm all of a sudden refereeing, if you need to know about your person and how they view money, get them in front of somebody like me.
Mm,
We will open that shit up and you will see exactly how they view money. Not because I'm trying to do anything mean, or not because I'm trying to put anybody on the spot. But the thing is that I'm very good at understanding what they don't say is what I'm saying. So the thing is, if you get them in front of somebody like me, all that stuff will be laid bare, and you will know right away if you guys are going to have a financial situation that you're going to maybe not jive with. So it's better to find out before you spend, 50 grand on a wedding,
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I never even thought about that. That's a great idea.
Now, I mean, I would assume it'd be the same thing for you guys. Like if,
Of course,
if I'm getting ready to get married, okay, we really need to talk about what our kinks are so we can make sure we line up,
yeah.
before we commit to just seeing you every day for the rest of my life,
Right.
I'm not.
That's a good wedding gift is to get somebody,
Hey.
That's
a gift
true.
certificate to schedule sessions or engagement gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Even a CFP plan. Look at that. Ladies,
Yeah.
look, we're going to have to create a package offline. We're going to make this happen.
Hello.
Yes.
Because I do a premarital coaching program, and finance is plugged into one of those. It's not as in depth as what you would do, but it's smart. The best gift to give is something that can be used ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And sex and money, like you guys talked about, are two of the biggies. So it would make sense. And like I said, if you get in front of somebody like me, you don't have to ask the questions, and you probably wouldn't know how to ask them anyway. And, they can be the bad guy, or I can be the bad guy, whatever.
Right, right. And I'm assuming with you, it's a relationship, when you get a financial planner, it's good to have them throughout your life.
Yeah. And I talk about in the book about basically we're all buying the same shit, you guys. Right. So if you sit down in front of somebody and they're just like, oh, you're 25 or you're 35, so this is going to be how you're investing, and they, they're shoving some portfolio down your face, and they don't know nothing about you, nothing that you're trying to do, nothing about your tax implication, they are the wrong people to be sitting in front of. 100%. And if you are going to accept that, then you might as well just go get some Joe Schmo from social media. I mean, it's just, it's not smart,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you taking clients from throughout, or just only in your state?
No, I'm licensed in many states. It's very easy to get licensed if I'm not, but yeah. So I'm taking clients. For me, I'm at a point in my career where I just want to like the people I work with.
Okay.
That's the main thing. So if the person, like if there's somebody watching this and they're like, oh, I need a CFP, but I don't like her, well, then we're probably not going to like each other.
Right.
But
right.
If you're watching this and you're like, oh, she's cool and I need a CFP, then I'm your girl. But I don't, you know what I mean? I like to just like who I work with, because life is too short, and I just don't want to deal with people I don't like no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. So if anyone, listening, tell us about your book, and then tell us how they can find you.
Sure. I actually have, this is where my desk. So it's Finance is the Other F Word, Another F Word to Love. And it's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, I always say it wrong, Barnes and Noble, Target, and Walmart. So Finance is the Other F Word, Another F Word to Love. Finance is plural.
Awesome. Yes. Well, it has been and no, that's right. And how did we find out about your podcast?
Oh, we're wherever you get your podcast. It's Finance is the Other F Word is the podcast, and my real name is Mel O. So if you just look for Mel O CFP, you're going to pull up all of my stuff. And you can also find us on TikTok at FTOFW_podcast, and on Instagram at Finance is the Other F Word. So, I mean, literally, I'm pretty easy to find.
Oh, awesome. Yes. Well, it has definitely been a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yes.
Yes. It's been great. Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it so very much.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yes. We'll be back in a moment.
Are you in a relationship with someone that you see often, but you feel so disconnected with them? Bringing intimacy back can help you bring the intimacy back to your relationship. BIB is dedicated to inspire, enlighten, and encourage intimate connections. Live shows, weekly guest speakers with over 29,000 downloads. We can help promote your products and services, grow your business and clientele with BIB. Want to become part of the BIB family? You can now sponsor with us.
Welcome back to the Bringing Intimacy show, where intimacy is real. That was such a wonderful information.
That was awesome. I loved every moment of it. I loved the transparency and genuineness. I love people that you know what you have and that's straight to the point.
Definitely, yes. And I love the idea about meeting with the financial planner at any stage of life, and even as giving it as a gift. So that is in my mind. Yes, yes.
Yeah, that is very, very good. That was a very great show, great information, and it will definitely open up some conversations that probably needed to have already happened. And speaking of those great conversations that need to happen, we have some amazing shows coming up in the coming weeks. So on next week, July the 21st, we have Dr. Barbara and Dr. Michael Grossman with Our Brain and Romance. On July the 28th, we have Roxanne Chaput with Awakening and Enlightening Love. And then on August the 4th, it's already here, August, we have Tilly Storm with Igniting Sexual Desire and Passion in Long-Term Relationships. Pretty steamy stuff coming up.
Yes, yes, definitely. So thank you so much. And we will see you guys next week on the Bringing Intimacy Back show. And follow us on social media.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Bringing Intimacy Back. We hope you enjoyed it. You can also find us at bringingintimacyback.com and Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. Dr. April Brown's 5-book series, Improving Intimacy, is now on Amazon, available in Kindle, Audible, or paperback. We'll see you next Thursday live at 3:30 p.m.